A lot of people think that you pay the biological parent for the baby. That is illegal.
Real? Okay.
Illegal.
That makes sense.
Yes.
That makes, like, if you think about it, like,
You'd be
you
buying a baby.
You can't buy a person.
Yeah,
That's
you
not
can't.
how that works. Before we get started with our episode, we're going to hear from our sponsor. Creating a new project, whether it be something like this podcast or a business, it's a lot of work, okay? And it's really overwhelming. And you don't really know what you don't know and what you're missing until it's kind of laid out for you. That was my biggest hurdle when I first started the podcast, because I don't know what I need. I'm just kind of figuring it out as I go. Or even social media in general. If I had some tool that told me exactly what I needed, what was working, oh my God, that would really be a game changer for my little small business over here. And for a lot of people, that tool that exists is Shopify. Shopify is the e-commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and accounts for 10% of e-commerce in the United States. You get access to your own design studio and can make your online store look however you want. Get assistance with your content creation and marketing. Oh my gosh, it's so handy. Shopify is a commerce expert with world-class expertise in so many things. From managing inventory, to international shipping, even to processing returns and beyond. If you're ready to sell, you're ready for Shopify. Turn your big business idea into with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month free trial and start selling today at shopify.com/Rebecca. Go to shopify.com/Rebecca. Shopify.com/Rebecca. Now let's get started with this week's episode. I always love when we get together, and it's so fun because like we have our first session of like just talking and catching up and talking for hours, and then it's like 2-hour podcast episode, and then it's more talking after, and I just miss you so much all the time.
I wish you lived closer.
I know, and we don't even live that far, but we're just like busy people.
Exactly.
Like, I'm just a tornado person, but like you're a whole mom now.
Which is wild.
That is oh my God. That's so crazy.
You know, yesterday we celebrated 1 year of legally being his parents.
It's already been a year?
No, like, he was brought home from the hospital. Like, we brought him home from the hospital, but it takes 90 days before you can go to the court and it be legalized. And so it yesterday was his full year of legally us being his parents.
I'm like mind blown right now. Holy moly. Time just flies. And like, this is perfect because like this is exactly what I want to talk to you about.
Exactly.
Because like there's so many things.
Yes. There's ample amount of talking
Like,
points.
so you and your wife adopted a baby.
Yes.
And amazing, because I have so many questions about the adoption process. Because like obviously I did the episode on like fostering with Peter, who's also in Charlotte. Charlotte just has like some of the coolest people. I love Charlotte.
It's a good little like.
North Carolina is like top tier content creator location.
Yes.
It just is.
Yes.
Hands down.
I agree.
And so I have so many questions because I learned so much about foster care system, and I want to learn so much about the adoption process, and then I later want to talk to Siri about like the IVF process because that's the avenue that she and her wife went. But I want to start at the beginning, because you like we were even just talking before about like your high school sweetheart with this man that you thought you were gonna marry, and like now you're with a woman, the most wonderful woman ever.
Absolutely.
And so like I want to start from the very beginning. Bailey Lavender's story, who, if you haven't seen my first episode with her, like, what are you doing? Because this woman, I love this woman. I love every time I get together with Bailey. She's one of my favorite people. Because, like, it feels like I've known you forever.
But that's, like...
That's our past lives.
It is. I believe in that. I do. I believe in that. So...
I want to know, like, the beginning. The Bailey Lavender story. Like, we already know the Bailey Lavender hair story.
Yes.
With the awful boss and how you want to become a hairstylist. I want to know the Bailey Lavender story of, like, how you became this shining mom who's doing such a good job. Like, you're such a kick-ass mom.
You're so sweet.
I love you.
So I only dated men until my like mid-20s. And then I was secretly dating a woman. And then I
Secretly?
met...
How did that... Okay, tell me. I need to know
So like
this.
we weren't fully dating. Like we were talking, right?
Okay.
And so
Did you know at this point that you liked girls?
So I knew that I liked masculinity, and still is a thing for me. And that was really hard for me coming out as bisexual, is because it was like, I'm not attracted to all women. I'm not attracted to like femininity. Like I don't like that. Like someone who does their makeup and their hair and like puts a dress on, like that's
not attractive to you.
That's not somebody that I would want to like date, right?
Right.
I can look at somebody and say, dang, she's stunning, or dang, she's hot, right?
Right.
But like, I'm not going to want to go on a date with you. But I like masculinity. Right. And so there's an actual term for that. I learned what that is. But anyways, so I was really confused for a really long time of like, does everyone feel this way? Or is it just me?
Right.
Like, what does this mean?
And what is this like label?
Exactly.
Yeah, no.
And I don't really like labels. So then I met my ex-husband, and I fell head over heels for him. It was beautiful. He was a great guy. It just didn't work out in the long run after being married for a little bit. And then when we were going through our divorce, I re-met Charlie that I'm married to now. We actually went to high school together. Mm-hmm. She was the first masculine lesbian I'd ever like been around when we were in high school, and I found her so interesting. And she hates when I say that. She's like, that seems really mean, and I'm like, I don't
think so.
It was just like I wanted to study her.
Yeah.
Like I've never met someone like you.
She intrigued you.
Yes, very intriguing. Yes. Like, and mind you, I was head over heels for my high school boyfriend at the time, and so it was nothing like that. I was just like that. You're an interesting human. Like, I want to get to know more about you.
It's like she awoke in something in you that you didn't realize was there, and you were like, I'm learning about you, but I'm also learning about me.
Yes. Yeah. And so it kind of just like flipped a little switch, right? And so then when we met, when we were both going through a divorce, we became friends first. Mm-hmm. And we were kind of supporting each other, making sure that the other person didn't feel alone, because you're going through a divorce. You get it.
Yeah.
It's an experience in and of itself.
Yeah.
And like going through the trenches of it versus someone who's been through it, it's different.
Yes.
And so we were there for each other, and it was a great friendship at first. And then eventually I started catching feelings. And that's when I went to her and was like, listen, I'm starting to get feelings for you. I don't want to ruin our friendship. Is this something that you would want to pursue? If not, we can absolutely remain friends. And that was when she was like, hold up.
She's like, wait.
Hold up. And so that was when she took me on our first date. And there's a drive-in in Kings Mountain, North Carolina. Mm-hmm. And she took me there. We had a blow-up mattress on the bed of her truck. She got pillows. She talked to my best friend, figured out my favorite restaurant, got me my favorite food, favorite candy, went there. She hates scary movies. And we watched a scary movie. And it was like the most perfect date because I love stars. Like that's like my thing is looking at like stars and constellations and stuff. And we got to like have our first date underneath the stars. It was so sweet. And then I had to tell my family. And I was terrified. Not because they're homophobic or anything like that, because they're phenomenal. My family is the type of family I wish everybody was able to come out to.
Oh, I just got chills.
I'm very thankful for that. Like my family, they always have made everyone who's a part of the community, like I head over heels so thankful for the people that raised me to be able to bring Charlie home to. Like it was, when I brought Charlie home, it was, hey everybody, this is who I'm dating. Oh. It was not ever, okay guys, I need to have a sit down conversation with you. I'm now dating a woman, and then bombard me with questions or anything like that. It was never that. It was, okay, you like women? Or when did that happen? Is this a phase? Are you okay? Like, but it was never out of fear for my safety or like being angry with me or anything like that. It was very just wanting to make sure I was good. And then after that, they wanted to get to know Charlie really well.
Because I can definitely see like anyone going through a divorce, it's a very stressful, crazy process. And I can definitely see them wanting, because I feel like there are some people that will listen and be like, well, why were they asking all that? But I think that it's definitely a valid question of like, you're going through a rough time. Is this something that you are like, this is you and you are happy and this is a real choice? Or is this like a trauma response? We just want to make sure.
Yes.
Whichever one is fine.
Because they had never seen my interest in a woman. I've always been with men. I've always like loved men, like and still find men very attractive. And I jokingly say that Charlie will ever be the only woman I'm ever with. If she ever leaves me, I'm never going back to women again. Like she is the woman that is it.
So cute.
So and my family loves her, and it was phenomenal. And then, coming out on social media was harder.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
And I've heard the opposite from many people where they say coming out to their family was more difficult for them than coming out on social media.
I think that it would really depend on how supportive the family was. Mm-hmm. And I think that you were really lucky in that aspect because I can see people who get unfortunate reactions from their family finding the support in social media very solidifying. Or
yes.
I can't think of what word I'm looking for, but like, you know what I mean? Like solidarity.
Yeah.
Whereas like if you get the really positive reaction from your family, not just getting that from social media would be like, ugh.
And I had a ton of clients leave me.
Really?
A ton. Yeah.
We are in the South.
Yeah, we are in the South. And I had a ton that they did not know that side of me. They knew that I have always been hardcore ally, but they didn't realize that it was because I was also a part of it, and I didn't know that till later in life. But they very much, as soon as I started posting about Charlie, fell off my books quick. A few of them had coarse words to say. Like, it was eye-opening in the best way, because that left me room to add on people to my books that
didn't
think
care
my way.
Yeah.
That were excited for me, that were like not judgmental, that wanted the best for me in life. Like, it, as hard as it was watching those people leave, it was for the best.
Oh, of course. It's just, I can't even imagine, like, I can't imagine the mentality of, oh, you're queer? Yeah, I loved how you did my hair, but not anymore. Like, you're the same hairstylist. You're the same person. That's...
Like, I've had people leave and then get their hair messed up and want to come back.
No.
And I went through that. I was like, my initial reaction was, screw you.
Yeah.
No. But then I was like, you know what? I'm petty. I want you back in my chair. And I let them.
Really?
I let them. And I talked the crap out of Charlie. Like, talked about all the wonderful things we're doing and how wonderful
what were their
she
reactions
is.
To that?
Quiet. Very quiet.
Did they come back again? Like, did they continue to come back? Or was it like they wanted you to fix the mess up and then they left?
It was a little bit of both. So they came multiple times. The first time I was petty. And I very much harped in on it. And I was like, listen, if you're going to be in my chair, you have to know this is who I am. You don't get an option in that. I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of the life I live. If you're not okay with that, don't sit in my chair, right? Yeah. Like, this is a long period of time. I'm not forcing you to be here. And then I would fix their hair, because sometimes it takes a couple times.
Right.
And then a few of them were honest with me of, listen, I'm not comfortable with this. Can you send me in a recommendation? And I'm like, absolutely. I can send you a recommendation of somebody who's also a part of the community, because I've surrounded myself with people who are part of the community or allies, and I don't know who's good or not, who think opposite of me, because I don't know them.
I wouldn't surround myself with those kinds of people.
I don't know them. And I was like, I can send you some recommendations, but they're going to be like me, so I don't know how to help you. And so a few of them stayed, a few of them left. It just kind of ebbed and flowed. But
do you feel like the reactions that you got were better, worse, or no different at all because you were bi instead of lesbian?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Because a lot of people... So, this is a little controversial.
That's okay. I love it.
Yes.
I love the controversy.
It's a little controversial. I'm a firm believer of anybody who believes being straight is a choice is bisexual.
I saw you post something about that the other day.
Yes.
And I sat and I thought about it and I was like, that makes so much sense.
Because they're choosing, because in their head, they choose to be straight every single day.
Interesting.
If you believe that wholeheartedly, I believe that you are bisexual and you fight those demons, like you fight that urge to like the same gender every single day.
Anytime I hear something along those lines, I always think of this one sound, and I don't know who it's by. It was trending on social media years ago, and I just remember it going, you think if sexuality was a choice, I'd choose to like men?
Do you know how?
Men? And I love it.
The amount of friends that I have that will say, I am unfortunately straight.
And it's so funny because, like, anytime I say something like that, there's always people in the comments like, you're such a man hater. I wish I hated men.
Yeah.
I love men.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And
Clearly.
and the thing is, there are phenomenal
There
men
are great
out
men.
there.
Do you know, like, I raised my brother to be one of the best men out there. Oh my God. Sometimes, anytime he does something like extra sweet, his girlfriend will text me and be like, thank you. And I'm like, you're so
But a
welcome.
lot of them are not in the dating crowd.
Yeah, because they're snatched up.
They're either
It's
snatched
so
up,
sad.
or they are very much self-driven, where they go to work or they go to school, they go home, they're working on themselves, that they're not worried about being on the dating sites or being out at the bars.
Exactly.
And so they're harder to find, and so the men out and about
Are not that great.
are getting the bad, or giving the bad rep.
Yeah. Bless. It'd be like that. But
So
you feel like yes and no, you were treated better and or worse because you came out as bi instead of coming out as a lesbian.
Well, because people got to know me, a lot of my clientele got to know me when I was married to a man, right? And so they got to know my morals and who I am as a person. And then when I came out as bisexual and finally started dating Charlie, that's when they had to make a decision of, do they support me or not?
Pause really fast. We're going to take a quick break and hear from our sponsor. Let me tell y'all, creating a new project, whether it be something like this podcast or a business, it's a lot of work, okay? And it's really overwhelming. And you don't really know what you don't know and what you're missing until it's kind of laid out for you. But like, if you don't know and you've never done it before, how do you know what you're missing? That was my biggest hurdle when I first started the podcast, because I don't know what I need. I'm just kind of figuring it out as I go. Or even social media in general. If I had some tool that told me exactly what I needed, what was working, what were the things that I might not be thinking of that I need, oh my God, that would really be a game changer for my little small business over here. And for a lot of people, that tool that exists is Shopify. Shopify is the e-commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and accounts for 10% of e-commerce in the United States. You get access to your own design studio and can make your online store look however you want. Or, use a template, because people like me who are not very creative, I need help, I need structure. Get assistance with their content creation and marketing. Oh my gosh. Shopify feels like you have your own marketing team behind you. It's so handy. Shopify is a commerce expert with world-class expertise in so many things. From managing inventory, to international shipping, even to processing returns and beyond. If you're ready to sell, you're ready for Shopify. Turn your big business idea into with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month free trial and start selling today at shopify.com/Rebecca. Go to shopify.com/Rebecca. Shopify.com/Rebecca. Now, back to the episode. What's interesting is that your morals and your values never change.
No.
It's more of their perception of your morals and your values. That's so interesting.
Because I've never been shy of being an ally and being open about that. And so that, to me, when they were shocked, the ones that were shocked, I was like, really?
You're shocked?
You're shocked? Like, if I'm an ally, that
what does it matter?
What does it matter?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was weird, but yes.
Interesting.
So it was, of course, I've never been a lesbian. And so I don't know what that coming out situation feels like, of saying, absolutely not, I don't want to ever be with a man, or whatever that is. And so I don't know that experience.
No, yeah. I only ask because I've heard that. And of course, I'm a straight woman. I've never experienced any of it. But I've heard that typically bisexual women get a lot more flack than women who come out as being a lesbian.
Well,
and I wasn't really sure why.
Well, the only thing with that is because some people in the LGBTQ community don't want to advocate that bisexual is a part of the community.
Why?
Because you get a choice if you are with a man or not. The opposite gender.
Okay.
And where others, they are a part of it no matter what. So because I could mask as a straight woman.
But it's not really masking, it's just being bisexual.
Yeah, that is where some people struggle with the bisexual community.
But
and it's not even straight people, it's a part of the community that make it difficult on bisexual people.
That's
it's very strange.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
That's that would be like giving a black woman who is white passing. That's well, she's not black. Well,
yeah. It's taking away that identity.
Yeah, that's so unfortunate.
It is. Thankfully, I have not run into that part. I have just heard it through the grapevine.
Okay. That's I was like confused. Because like I heard about that, but I wasn't sure why that was.
I've heard about it through social media. I've heard about it through like fellow friends, but I thankfully have never run into that. Like I have very much surrounded myself with amazing humans that never made me feel that way, but I have heard of it, and that was a fear of mine when coming out.
Okay, that makes sense. So then you met Charlie, married Charlie, loved Charlie.
Yes.
When did you guys decide, like, we want to be parents?
So we both came into the relationship, and one of the first conversations when we started dating was, do you want kids? Because if hers was no, then I was not moving forward.
Right.
Like, I'm not going into a relationship with someone who has different future values or future wants than me, because that's wasting both of our times.
Right.
And I was like, no, I want a family. I know that I have many purposes in life, but one of them is to be a mom.
Right.
And so we had that conversation where we both, with us being the same sex, it was, how do you want to become a parent as well? And I've always wanted to adopt, but I've also wanted to experience pregnancy. So as I'm aging, because I'm about to turn 31, I stated, so I think what I want to do is first carry and then adopt. That way I don't have a geriatric pregnancy, because by the age of 35, you're considered geriatric pregnancy. And sometimes it takes a while and all that.
What does that mean? Like, what's the significance of geriatric pregnancy?
You are considered high risk.
Okay.
And so more doctor's visits, more testing, all of that. And so that was like one reason of why I was like, let's just go ahead and try pregnancy first. And then after pregnancy, I also want to adopt.
What question, just nosy question, what about even before, like originally, what about adopting was so attractive to you?
I come from a very mixed family.
Okay.
So I am the only biological child of both of my parents together.
Okay.
Right? So I don't have any full siblings.
Okay.
So my parents, I have to do it with my hands straight.
I'm ready.
So my parents had me in college. Then they divorced, got married again, both had a son. Both divorced, remarried again, and got into relationships that already had a boy and a girl. So I technically have 6 siblings.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
And so I have 2 half-brothers and 4 step-siblings.
Got it.
And so I was taught at a really young age
that everyone's family.
And sometimes chosen family
Oh, I got chills again. I love it so much.
More loving and more caring, because I've had family members that like have shown up and shown out, and they're not biologically related to me, and they are there for me every step of my experience of life, right?
You're gonna cry, because that's like my cousin.
Exactly.
My cousin Rebecca. Yes, we have the same name. We do have the same name, but yes.
It's cute though. But like, and then you have some people that are a part of your world because they're blood to you, and they're awful humans, right? And they don't treat you the way they're supposed to. You have a lot of trauma from them. And so I realized at a really young age that blood doesn't mean anything to me. And because of that, I have always been pulled towards adoption. I've always found it very, again, here's the word, interesting. Intriguing. Yeah. Like, I wanted to learn about it at a really young age. I wanted to understand it, know the depths of it, the verbiage that could be harmful.
Yeah.
The different ways that there are avenues within that. And later in life, when in my first marriage, he and I had discussed that I wanted to be a foster parent, and I wanted to adopt, and I wanted to do all those things. And he was on board for it. It was never anything negative. But when getting with Charlie, I had to make sure that she was also on board for that, because that was a non-conversation. Like, this is going to be part of my journey. Are you a part of this or not?
Right.
So
absolutely.
When we started the infertility journey, and it didn't work out for us. Now, mind you, I had tried previously to get, I had tried previously in my past marriage and was unable to get pregnant then either. That's when we were like, okay, it's time to go down our other avenue, which is what was already a part of the plan anyways. We're just starting it early. And it worked out perfectly.
If you don't mind, and again, that's also okay. Like, I would love to hear a little bit more about like the infertility journey. Just because I know that's something that so many women struggle with, and I think it's so much more common than people realize. It's just a subject that isn't talked about, and I think that experience, of course, like I don't know. I mean, I never attempted to have kids, but I do know I have a lot of friends that really want kids and who are already assuming, because of other medical things,
Yeah.
that they will most likely have issues and most likely have difficulty. And I want them to feel heard.
Yeah.
And I want my loved ones to feel heard and seen and, like, not alone. And I know I want that for other people too. So if you feel comfortable, of
Absolutely.
course.
I could talk about infertility
Okay,
stuff
I'm ready,
all
I'm ready.
day
I'm
because
ready.
I dove so heavy into this. Now, I never did IVF. That was never a part of my journey.
Why? What about IVF were you like, no, thank you?
To me, I struggled with the medication so much on just doing the IUI portion
Okay.
that I knew that the medication with that was going to be even more intense.
Okay.
That was not something I needed to dive into.
I don't know anything about the medication
Okay.
stuff.
So when we started the journey, we went in and I had just started my period and they wanted me to start that month. And mind you, I was about to head to a hair show. It was a lot on my plate and I was like, whoa.
So they skipped a lot of the tests.
Pause. And because they were excited to get us started because like there was no way Charlie and I could accidentally get pregnant, right?
Right.
And so
Yeah.
And so they were like, we can get this started now. And I was like, whoa, pause. Like, I need to wrap my head around this. This is, even though it's not IVF, it's still an expensive journey because buying sperm is expensive.
Yes.
And so we went through a lot of the tests, which are semi-invasive. There is a saline test that they do where they make sure your tubes are open. And I was shocked when they didn't do the baseline test, which is where you go in on day 3 of your period and they make sure that the eggs are not cyst and that you have proper cyst and or follicles that are supposed to drop, and it's a whole like big medical thing. And it's literally just a ultrasound that they do.
And they didn't do it.
Very simple, but they didn't do it. And I was there for months.
How did they refund any of the money that you paid? But they're the ones that didn't do the test.
Exactly. And I was livid. And the amount of money that we spent on sperm, the amount of money we spent on lab work, like it was infuriating.
Yeah.
And so going through all of that, the last month is when they found that I have a good bit of cyst. And so they put me on birth control. Mind you, when I was 18, I was put on an IUD that they said was like the least hormonal, and it made me feel crazy. Like, I don't do well on hormonal birth control. And so when they put me on that to decrease the size of the cyst so that an egg would drop, I was the most paranoid and anxious I've ever been in my entire life.
Wow.
Like, I would call some of my really good friends daily. And because they hadn't texted me that day, you're mad at me. What did I do? I'm so sorry. And they're like, Bailey, I love you. I can't wait till you get off this medication because this is rough. And Charlie, like, at night would almost have to force the pill down my throat because I needed her to. But it was like, it was that bad.
Oh.
Like, I'm that bad on birth control. And so I told her, if this month is not it, I can't do this. I'm done. And so that's why we didn't do IVF, is because I was worried it was going to be even worse than that.
No, that makes sense.
And I had gained weight like crazy, and that was affecting my mental health. I was unable to work properly because my mental health was not great. And it just was one thing after another. But I will have to say, looking for sperm was a lot of fun. It was like going through a dating app almost.
That's so funny.
It was because one thing that I didn't fully grasp is the amount of even straight couples that have to look for sperm because the man's sperm that they like, their husband's sperm may not be the quality that is needed, and they go looking for someone that looks similar to him or has same genetics as him or something, so that they get the better or like they get to choose that's similar. And it's really cool, and I didn't know any of that, and it gets shipped straight to the medical place that you're getting everything done. But it was $2,000
Oh wow.
for a good sperm
Oh wow.
a month. Yes.
Oh wow.
So us paying that on top of the
treatment
costs, the lab work and everything else, like it was getting too expensive. Like I couldn't wrap my head around just hoping and praying that it was going to work. Because with IUI, what you do is you go in on the day that or right near the day that your egg is supposed to drop. They go into your uterus and they inject the sperm straight into your uterus. So it's going past your cervix and all of that. So it's getting straight in there. And then they give you a trigger shot that is supposed to make sure that one of your eggs drop. That way they are real close and supposed to easily meet up, right? And then a week later, you go back into the office. They draw your blood to make sure an egg has dropped. And your numbers are supposed to be high. And it's supposed to be like over like 3 or 4. And I never had numbers over 5 or 6. And the last time we did it, I had numbers that were like in the 20s. So I was super duper excited. I had just finally come off the birth control. My emotions were starting to regulate. And the day I got my period was awful. And I was already so upset with the clinic. I was already like so drained mentally and already at the point where I was like, what am I doing? What am I putting myself through? This is not working out for me. Like I feel like I was forcing something that I didn't want anymore because I was like, this is not
like you're just going through the motions.
Exactly. Like it felt to me in that moment like something else is going on outside of me, and you'll understand in a minute, but it felt like there's something else out in this world that this is not supposed to happen. And then it's funny because our son was actually being made during that time.
Oh my God. I keep getting chills.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. So because we've added up the timeline and it worked out perfectly.
Divine intervention.
It did.
Divine intervention. I believe in that. 100%. 100%. I absolutely believe in that.
And I'll show you pictures. So, because I don't show him on social media, but I'll show you.
Of course, stranger danger.
You know what Charlie looks like.
Yes. Oh, he's so smiley.
He looks like Charlie.
He does.
Yes. And so to me, it's like, it really is divine intervention. Like it's beautiful.
Okay.
And so after getting my period and
no more of this.
I just was like, I don't feel like this is meant to be. I have this feeling that like, maybe this is not the route we're supposed to go down. And so finally we're like, you know what? Adoption was always on the table. This is me just wanting this experience. I don't care if it's biologically related to me. The
experience isn't that important anymore.
It's not that important.
We just want the end result now.
Exactly. And so I was like, you know what? We're going to look into adoption and figure out what those steps look like. And so we started calling different agencies. Mm-hmm. And I'm not kidding you. We did not have a single agency that would work with us.
Because you were 2 moms.
Now, I take that back. We found one, but we had called a lot of the local places and other things because we were trying to do one that we could like go face to face. We wanted to like meet them and let them get to know us. And they either were kind enough to say, listen, we're a Christian-based company. None of the mothers that are coming into this facility to allow their child to be adopted are going to choose you, or they would hang up on us.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How loving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, this question, because I don't know. I know that like when it comes to adoption, a lot of people prefer babies, but I also know that the adoption and foster care system like is overwhelmed.
Yes.
Do you know, like, would any of those moms that like wouldn't choose you, did any of their babies not find a home?
That I don't know.
Because that's honestly so great, and I don't know if they did or not, but just knowing how many kids just want a family so bad and are unable to find one, to decide, well, I don't want them to go with you because you're 2 moms or 2 dads or whatever. That's so like that's not very pro-life.
And like, it's sad.
And I know that there's going to be people in the comments that are like, well, it's
their
whatever,
belief system.
It's their belief,
yeah.
But like, isn't their whole entire belief system supposed to be surrounded? We are all imperfect and we are all sinning. So like, why is one like I don't
like I looked at it as in that moment I was like so maybe this is also not meant to be. Like, what? And I have always known that, like, I have, like I said earlier, many purposes in life. One of them is to be a mom. And it was like, so what is happening? Like, what am I supposed to do? And so that's when we took to the internet and was like, does anybody know of a route that we could take? Because by that point, we didn't know of the agency that would take us. Like, we went private.
Right.
We didn't use an agency. But we had a ton of people recommend this certain agency that allows a certain number of LGBTQ families.
They have a quota limit?
Yes.
Oh, I hate that.
Mm-hmm. They do.
Oh, that's so gross.
I didn't like that, but I was like, okay.
Okay, if this is the way, this is the way.
All right, if this is the way, then it'll be. But I'm a firm believer of, like, if something is supposed to be, it'll find its way. I don't have to force it if it's meant to be. Like, this is a different situation. But example, cars. If I'm getting a car, if I go and look at it, I don't need to be forced into buying it that same day, because then it's not meant to be. I need to be able to go, come back. If it's still there, then it was meant to be, that I can purchase it. I don't have to jump through hoops.
Like relationships.
Exactly.
If it's meant to be, it'll be.
It'll be.
You shouldn't force it. Yeah,
exactly. And so that's how I felt about pregnancy and everything. Like, I should not have to go over and beyond for it to work for me personally.
Right.
And so when our adoption went the way it did in a private situation, it was perfect. And I can say this, we have an open adoption. Like, Caden still will get to be able to know his biological parents, and it is stunning. It is beautiful. I love his biological parents so much. They are beautiful humans, and I could not have asked for a better situation, like, to the point where we've been like, hey, do you want to have more kids biologically, and we could adopt again through y'all, because we have a great relationship. Like, it is one of those situations.
I want to come back to this because I want to know. I have so many questions, but I also want to know more about, like, the process of the adoption process, because I don't know anything about it.
It's different. Every single person's adoption is different.
Okay.
Because I have met people who have been adopted through foster care. I have met people who've been adopted through agencies and private, as babies later in life. Like, it is all per person. It's very different.
Okay.
Now, I think with foster care or through the state, you have to become a foster parent first.
Okay.
I think. Now, I didn't go through that, so I'm not sure. But through private, they had to have background checks on everyone.
Okay.
So us on them, we had to make sure that it was all legitimate. So we had to have medical records to make sure that the pregnancies were not falsified or anything. Come to find out, that is a common occurrence.
I
Now,
saw that one movie.
Yeah, there is legally, we could not give anything. A lot of people think that you pay the biological parent for the baby. That is illegal.
Real? Okay.
Illegal.
That makes sense.
Yes.
If you think about it, like,
you'd be
you don't
buying a baby.
You can't buy a person.
Yeah,
that's not how that works.
You can't buy another human.
No.
Like, and so it was highly illegal. Like,
Right.
we could not send DoorDash. We could not give a gift basket. We could nothing.
Right.
And so that's why it's not funny, but I get tickled as an adoptive parent when I see comments in my comment section of people being like, you bought a baby or whatever, and like, you stole that baby. And I'm like, no, I was chosen by, and that's how, other than if you're going through the state, but I was chosen by the biological parents to be his parent. Like, they went out of their way to make sure that I got to be this.
Do you know, and you might not know, and that's okay, do you know how many parents they were looking through before they chose you?
I don't know.
That was an easy question.
They have never told me that information, and now probably will ask. Like, how many people did you look through before you chose me?
How many people did I beat?
Yeah.
To be this kid's mom.
And that was one thing, and that we were very curious on, is like, because we're same sex and we got told no so often, is that a problem? Does that make you scared? And it was actually something that made them want us more is because of it, that they knew that he would be going into an accepting home that cares about mental health, that cares about his well-being, that if he was to decide to not have the wife and a golden doodle and a white picket fence one day, that he'll still be loved, right? And they were like, that's really important for us, is that no matter what avenue he has in life, he will forever be loved. And I was like, that breaks my heart that that's a question. Yeah, like that should never be questioned. But that was a fear. And I was like,
because you never know. Even people who are biological parents and raise their kids are not always the best and safest place.
Well, I mean, the amount of horror stories I've heard of people coming out and their family disowns them because they love someone else.
Yeah. Or even like not even having to do with sexuality and just bad, unsafe, predatory parents. Like it's scary. And so I can imagine the fear of like, what kind of family are we going to, like, just because we are unable to care for this baby doesn't mean that we don't love this baby. We want to make sure this baby is loved and safe and cared for forever.
And also what breaks my heart too is the amount of comments that I'll go and delete them. The amount of people that speak horribly of bio families.
What? Why?
Because they gave them up. And I'm like, but you don't understand. Do you understand and grasp the amount of love that family had for that child to say, for whatever reason, I want you to raise the most perfect thing I've ever created in my entire life.
I don't have the means or the ability to give them the life that I want to give them.
That
I
they
want
deserve
that for them more than I want.
The amount of selflessness that comes from that human being, the group of human beings that are involved in that, because grandparents could have stepped in, or aunts, or like there's so many people that could have said, no, you don't get to make this decision. And they didn't.
I find it really interesting when not everybody in the group of people that shame bio parents, but the ones that do overlap with the pro-life, that's like, well, what did you want?
Yeah.
What did you want? We did what you wanted. What do you want?
It's kind of like, have you seen at protests where people are like, so how many kids did you adopt? Or have you adopted in your life? And they're like, oh, I have kids of my own. And it's like,
so do you know what happens to these children after? Have you looked after them? Have you donated money? Have you volunteered to foster them?
And I also hate the verbiage of, I have my own children.
Yeah, no, your adopted kids are yours. Those are your babies.
Because I have people ask me all the time, do you want kids of your own? And I'm like, that is my son.
Yeah, my kids that I adopted, even though they have 4 legs and tails, those are my babies.
Like, so
actually, that's a lie. I birthed them. Just kidding.
You're like, what makes you, other than, because a father doesn't give birth to the child, other than giving birth to the child and genetically being related, what's different? Late nights, sick babies, worried, money, love, like, I could hear him make a noise from a different room, and I know if he's happy, sad, and it couldn't be a laugh. And I know from an instant if I need to take off running. The squeak that comes from him. I can tell if he is having a good day or a bad day by his face. Like, I know all those things. How can you say that's not my kid?
I'm gonna start crying again. It's so sweet.
Like, and I get so upset, not even for myself, but for him.
Yeah.
How dare someone take what he knows away from him? And because you can say what you want about me all day long, whatever, but don't take what his life and his life story is away from him.
That's a mom response. Oh, that's such a mom response.
I love
You're
him
such a mom.
I love him so much.
Oh.
And he's growing like crazy. He's over a year old. Like, if I could go back and relive every moment again, I wouldn't change anything. Like, there are things like, he was a colicky baby. I wish I knew, like, how to help him better earlier on, that kind of thing.
But I think that's a part of, like, first-time motherhood. Yeah. Like, not that I have experience with that.
But you heard it.
But, like, not only, like, my mom, my mom's a nurse, and she worked with the newborns, and she did labor and delivery, and then she switched to lactation consulting. And so, like, even just hearing her coaching new moms through it, or like seeing some of my best friends become new moms. Like that's the number one thing I always hear, colicky baby, and like figuring out how to identify and what to do and learning the cries. Like, that's a new mom experience.
And like the way I would go back so quickly just to experience it all with him again. Like, not even I want to have another one or anything like no, I want to experience it with him all over again. And we're only like a year and a half deep into this.
That's so cute. And like, so there are some adoptions that are like open and some adoptions that are closed.
Yes.
And so like, if I'm understanding correctly, like closed adoptions, they don't get any information. You don't even know anything about the old family. Like, am I right? Tell me more.
So it's all dependent. Like I said, it's dependent on the person and the family. So some closed adoptions, they don't ever get information other than medical information.
Okay.
For whatever reason. Like,
well, you would need a medical history.
Yeah.
Correct. That's important.
Some are you don't get that information until you're 18.
Okay.
And then some of that is chosen by the biological family that they say they don't want any interaction. And then some people are from the adoptive family that they fear them knowing and not looking or not thinking that they're as loved or whatever the situation is. And so sometimes it's one or the other parties that is making that decision. Now, open adoption, it also
can vary.
It can vary as well. Like I've heard of some open adoptions where they get an update on the child every 3 months. Some get an update every 5 years. Some you talk to and have like great information and you get to know about them and you see them yearly, or you text or you email, or you like it very much is all over the place.
Yeah.
What I've really enjoyed is coming across really cool open adoption birth mom stories on social media. I came across one. And I can't even remember her name, and I hate that I don't. But she was talking about how she gave birth to a baby boy, and he's a teenager now.
Okay.
But every year for like the past 5 or 6 years, they have gone with biological family and adoptive family on a vacation. Okay.
Aww.
And that year they were going to Disney. And one night out of the vacation for the past like 5 years or so, he is allowed to stay overnight with his biological family because they have a great relationship and they're trusted and all of that. And so that time she made a video, the bio mom made a video about how she was so excited because he had asked for multiple nights and to spend the day with them without adoptive family. That does not mean he does not love his adoptive family or anything like that. But his adoptive mom, no questions asked, were like, absolutely. Go for it. You call us if you need us. We'll be there. We see you. We love you.
We had our own
fun.
Disney trip.
Yeah.
That's
because
so sweet.
If done right with proper mental health, proper care, and the right boundaries set in place, it could be beautiful.
Imagine like the relationship he has with his siblings.
Yeah. Biological and adoptive, like all of that.
Like I feel like so many people would hear that and immediately go, "Oh my gosh, he wants to see the parents and not like how I would never let blah blah blah." But like he most likely just has such a great relationship with his siblings and wants to spend time with them and do stuff like that's beautiful to be able to do that.
Yeah, because I mean, if you think about it, right? How many of us want to know about where we came from more than just our moms or our dads or grandparents? We want to know, we want to do a genealogy test and figure out where in Europe were we are long families based out of, right?
Our quirks, are they genetic or are they learned?
Were they lawyers or were they bakers? Were they entrepreneurs? Like what?
Do we come from a line of royalty?
Exactly. And people want to know these things.
Yeah.
And then I hear, sadly, some adoptive families, they get really upset when their adoptive child wants to know those. And I'm like, why? Of course they do.
Of course they want to know things.
Of course, because I'm nosy.
Yeah.
I want to know.
I want to know so much.
Yes. And so I'm really excited to see more families come onto social media and not just tell that they adopted a baby and that because I've heard where some people don't tell their child at all that they were adopted and they find out later in life and it becomes a very big
traumatic
situation, right? Where we tell Caden his birth story now. Like, we are telling him how beautiful it was and how wonderful they are. And we have gone to see them, and we get to talk about that and tell him tell him who they are and how thankful we are for them.
That's so
and like,
sweet.
they will be a part of his life story as long as it's a healthy situation.
Did you always know that you wanted to do an open adoption?
Yeah, because prior to even opening the door for adoption, I have spoken to so many adoptees and adoptive families. So my big thing is, I wanted to talk to people who are adopted and are now adults, right? What was that like for you? How did your experience of coming into a family, how could they have done it better? And because my thing is, I want to always be doing the best I can possibly do. And the only way I can do that is by educating myself. And the only way I felt like I could do that properly was not by reading books that were written by adoptive parents or reading books by someone who's in the field. Nope. I wanted to know
a kid that experienced
I want to know your experience. And so the amount of podcasts I listened to, the amount of YouTube videos I listened to, the amount of people that I knew that were adopted, and I was like, I need your raw, honest opinion. I want to know. Also, talking to people who were raised by same-sex couples. And I wanted to know that experience and what we could do differently. And the biggest thing was verbiage and truthfulness. And never honing in on biology. And always letting them know the truth of like where they came from, who they are, letting them just wholeheartedly be themselves. And all of that was like top notch, the biggest thing for them.
I think that's the most mother response I've ever heard in my life. Because regardless of, which obviously like you're feeling like you were very open to it from the start, but like regardless of your feelings on it, whether you were in support of or not in support of, like your first instinct was, how do I make this a good experience for my child? And I feel like so many people in general, even who like go the route of adoption, whether like chosen or in necessity or whatever, I hear of so many people who envy that I want to be the only mom, or I want, this is we don't ever want them to know they're adopted for whatever reasons.
Yeah.
And like, that's your choice. But I feel like it's like King Solomon and the baby. The most mother choice is, regardless of my own feelings, what is the best thing for this child? And then as you watch that child thrive in the environment you created for them, that's when you then, whether you did before or not, that's when you like see the positive impact, and that's when you like love that choice.
Yeah, and then you get to choose. Once the child is old enough to express their wants, then you can start asking them, do you want to continue this route? Do you want to change it up? Because then at that point it's their own life. And I am very big on saying I am a part of his life story.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people ask really in-depth questions of his adoption, and we don't talk about it because it's not my story.
Right.
I am a part of his story, but like his adoption is his adoption. So that's really big of like how I verbalize things, is because if he wants to one day get on social media and tell his story,
that's his choice.
I will help you. I'll set up the
Absolutely.
video camera. I'll have the lights, camera
You should
action.
tell him what editor to use. Yeah.
Got
Of course.
you, baby
Of
boy.
course.
But like, not until you're ready.
Absolutely.
And I am big about not showing his face because of how horrible people are on
of
social
course.
media, like all of that, right?
Oh, absolutely.
But I hid it for a while because I didn't know how to verbalize it properly, and people took it as me being shameful. Or ashamed of what we had done. And I was like, absolutely not.
No.
I am so proud that we went down this route.
Yeah.
I am so thankful for my son.
We're just protecting him from you guys.
Because people are awful.
Yes.
They're horrible
Because one,
people.
there's like the predators that always are looking for little kids in videos, and that's disgusting. Like, I understand that years ago people didn't understand that's what was happening, but now we do. So people who like know this and still choose to put their children, I have a problem with that personally.
It's hard because I am a very big person in your life, your kid, you do what you think is best. It's always when people judge me because they're like, oh, I want to post him, like family or friends. I want to post how he was so cute. I want to post him doing da-da-da-da-da with us. that's when I get judgmental of why is that so difficult for you to understand I don't want my child on social media other like his face.
Because like it's
why is that so hard?
There's so many layers. Because one, like, I understand that a lot of, whether it be aunts, uncles, grandparents, whatever, well, it's only my Facebook friends. Do you know all of your Facebook friends? Do you know how to use Facebook enough to like make sure it's only friends? And like I understand that, you know, whether aunts, uncles, grandparents, whatever, want to post. But like at the end of the day, it's they want to brag, they want to show off, and like that's fine. That you can be proud of your grandchild. But that's we now know, we have evidence, we have data that is not in the best interest of kids. That can be dangerous. So like you're in this important familial role. Why is the kid's safety, kid's best interest not trumping the I want to brag? That's my question to grandparents, aunts, uncles, family members that are like, well, I should be able to post him. Why?
Why is it so important?
Why is that the important thing here?
Yes. So I don't know if you've come across this,
okay,
but one person brought this to my attention when we first adopted him, and I was really excited and we started posting him. One singular person told me this, and immediately I stopped. But someone told me that predators out there are taking these pictures and videos of these young kids, and they're using AI and creating horrible images and videos, and I'll let your imagination take it from there.
Oh my gosh.
And that is where the first initial people like that started like taking their kids off social media. Why they started doing that, I don't know if that's public knowledge. I don't know if that's fully true, but that fear, because I know it probably could be done because of how easily AI is accessible now. Absolutely not.
No.
And now people are like, well, if you don't know about it, then it doesn't.
No. Well, like it's now like a widespread. We all understand that, we've all heard these things. Whether even someone could come and like tell me in 2 years, oh, well, that was debunked, it wasn't really happening. Who cares? If there's a chance, why are you as a parent taking that chance? That's exactly what I was saying like a second ago of like, we now know these things could be happening.
Yes.
Why is the clicks and views? Oh, well, everyone thinks my kid is so cute. Oh, sure. Why is the possibility of it being a dangerous situation? Why is that not trumping the, well, I'm getting good views? What?
Personally, I view for my own child, and I don't ever push judgment on someone else and what they do with their child. But personally, I look at it for myself as I won't get behind the car or the wheel of a car after I've been drinking out of fear of getting in a wreck or causing a wreck, doing harm. There's a possibility that I get home perfectly safe. But because there's that slight chance that something goes wrong.
Exactly. When I go out, I will not have if I'm the one driving, when I go out with friends or go to dinner or whatever, even if everyone else is getting a drink, if I'm driving, I won't get even one.
Yeah.
Not because I like, oh, I can only have one drink and I'm off the walls. No, I would rather have with utmost certainty, nothing is going to happen.
Yeah.
Why, when it comes to children on the internet, are we not that conscious? It bothers me the most when it's other people's kids.
What do you mean?
Like I've seen teachers that will like record
yes.
their classes
yes.
and post it, and I'm like, that's not even your children. You don't get to make that decision. I don't think that when their kids are like young enough to not be able to have an opinion of their own, I don't think that's right, much less someone else's kid.
And see, I have done a really good job of choosing my friends wisely. I have a great group of friends that, like, even though some of them post their children on social media, if my child is in the photo, that his face is either blocked out or it's the back of his head. And I'm like, I love you more than life itself because you care about my wants and about my wants for my child. And just because you post your child does not mean that you find it okay for mine to be posted. And I'm like, that right there. Like, I used to be a dance teacher way back when in my early cosmetology school days. I was a dance teacher. And the amount of people that I followed because of me used to being the dance teacher and having that like background, I see post videos of children stretching or dancing, doing dance moves that a child should absolutely not be doing, is dumbfounding to me that they posted on the internet publicly.
Yeah, no.
I'm like, that is not your kid. Did you get consent?
Even like when one of my best friends, she started having kids, and I call her boys like my little nephews. And even when we would have like little Auntie Bex days and we would go to the park and I would take photos, like always, emoji on the face. No matter what, always. No matter what. Like, I just assumed, like, this is the safe way to do. I know that this is not my child. I have a large audience. I love them and I want to take photos with them for me. But, like, that's not for strangers. That's not for strangers at all. That's not safe. And it's just...
I saw a podcast clip it a while back of these two women, and they were talking mad smack on moms who blur out their kids' face, put an emoji over kids' faces and stuff.
Why?
And use the verbiage of, why do you think you think you're that big of a big deal, or something like that. Like, it was something along the lines of talking smack about how these women think that they're more important than what they are, to where they need to blur out their kids' faces like a celebrity. And I was like,
who
what?
is so miserable in their own life where they are offended that someone just wants to take an extra precaution with their child?
Do you understand now how mad I get when I see paparazzi, like, following these celebrities, and they're trying to, like, cover their child's faces, and the paparazzi's, like, in their face?
No, that's disgusting. Disgusting behavior.
Like, that is the same thing to me. Where you are judging someone by them trying to just simply protect their child, take extra precaution, is just as bad as paparazzi overstepping that boundary.
My brain is still exploding over the moms who are judging moms for blurring out their kids' faces. Like, to me, that feels like predator behavior gaslighting. Like, whether it's them or someone that they know.
Because anybody in my family or my friend group that I have asked to not show his face, okay.
It's like one of those things of, like, if your best interest is, or if your biggest priority is their best interest and their safety, why would you have a problem with it?
It was almost like me saying, hey, I don't like heartthrob or mommy's heartbreaker or words like that on any t-shirt or anything. If you want to buy them clothes, absolutely go for it, because a lot of my family likes to spoil my kid. I love it.
Love that.
But don't get them anything like that. Like, I just don't like that.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay.
He's like an infant. Why are we, like, talking about him dating?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's always been weird to me.
And they accepted it just as easily as that.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't want him to wear tons of dinosaurs. I want him in solid colors. That way, if we have another child, we can easily transfer it no matter the gender.
Okay.
It was that simple. But it was because of the people I surrounded myself with that they care about my child's well-being as well.
I think that this is going to offend some people. And that's okay. They can just be offended by it. I feel like the people who have an issue with those kinds of boundaries and who, like, no, like, I want to show the kid's face, or I need the kid in XYZ clothes, or I want, but, like, when it's not even their kid.
Yeah.
Like, it's, you know, a friend, a in-law, a whatever. Friend, family, aunt, grandparent, whatever, and they, like, want to dictate what the kid is wearing, not wearing. To me, those people are just so miserable with themselves. Like, they feel like they need something to brag about or talk about. They need to be the center of attention. They need other people's validation of, look how sweet, or look how this. Like, their interest and their priority is not the kid. It's the image and the attention that the kid brings. And I fully believe that.
As a mom, I look at, when people are around my kid, I look at the little things, right? Do you listen to the little instructions and the boundaries that I've set when I'm around, right? Because if you can't do those, you will not get alone time with my child.
Yep.
Period. End of conversation. There's no, like, question about it. I will find another route. If I need childcare, anything like that, I will find someone else. And so I'm very big about that. If you can't follow simple instructions or simple boundaries that I set, going in a closed room by yourself with him, or whatever it is, if you can't follow those, you will not ever be allowed to have alone time with my child. End of conversation.
And what's crazy is that, again, friends,
and then I'll be
siblings,
the bad guy.
in-laws, grandparents, whatever, the people who refuse those,
Mm-hmm.
oh, so it's not important that you have a relationship with the kid. It's important to you that you do what you want with this kid. That's not the priority. Okay, that's all I needed to know. And like for me, because I know there's going to be people who, well, that's their grandparent. They need to have a relationship with their grandparent. If their grandparent's biggest priority is not their best interest or like just having that relationship with them, why?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you dead set on, well, this adult who is not, like their biggest priority isn't just being in their life? Why is it so necessary for that adult to be in their life if their biggest priority is not just having a relationship with the kid or being in the kid's life?
I saw a TikTok yesterday, and it was this mom, and she said, my biggest flex is that my son wanted to go to his grandma's house, her mom's. And so I called her, and I told her that my son wanted to come over. So she came over, got him, did not need a diaper bag, did not need instructions, just left and was like, hey, come get in the car, didn't need a car seat or anything, right? My family's like that. I have my family, I could literally put him in the car, other than maybe some diapers because there's a range of ages.
Right, of course. Sizes and stuff.
But like food, high chair, things to play with, anything like being safe, having gates on the stairs, all of that, I don't have to worry about it.
I love that.
That is the kind of family you have to think about prior to bringing a kid into the family. I have friends that tell me all the time that they're in the process of trying to get pregnant, and they would like to talk about adoption, but their husband is struggling with the concept of not having a biological child or the child not being his own. And I said, adoption is not for you.
Yep.
And they got mad. Why not? I'm okay with it. He might come around to it. Child deserves better.
Yes.
And that is with everything in life. The people that you surround yourself with, the way that you become a parent, like all of these things, the child that comes into your life deserves the absolute best.
Yes.
And you have to be so honest with yourself, especially because adoption is trauma. No matter how beautiful it is, no matter how great you try to make it, it is trauma. And if you're not honest with yourself and honest with that experience, then you're going to create more.
Yes.
You have to make sure you're prioritizing your kids' mental health at the forefront of everything.
I love that. Actually, I don't think I can think of a better line to end on. I think like that, because I was sitting here racking my brain of like, what's a good thing I can ask her to end on? But no, that's it. That's the one.
Yeah?
That's the line. Unless there's any other things that you think are important, whether it be about coming out, family support, adoption, anything along those lines.
So Charlie and I, in the next couple years, we're wanting to give a little bit of time, are wanting to add to our family and wanting to have another child, but we don't want Caden to be an only child. I want to hear from adoptive or adoptees what that experience was like for you. If you were the first adoptive child and more were added, I want to know how your family went about it and how we can do it better. That's really important to me.
I love that. That's so beautiful.
Because I want his experience to be the absolute best I can give him.
I'm getting chills again. That's like just all episode, but just hair on my arms just standing up the entire time. I just love you so much.
I love you. Excited.
Thank you so much for
Thank
hanging out with me
you.
always. I could literally we could sit and talk for days.
I know. I think we could have literally an episode that went on for hours on end. Like,
yes.
Lena texted me shortly after our last episode and was like, I've never edited an episode that was this long.
I know. I just love you so much.
Because the conversation's so easy.
I know. We totally like multiple past lives.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We just keep finding each other.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fine. I love you.
I love you. Thank you.
Always. We're going to have to find something else to do another episode on later.
We could easily do that.
Yeah. But I love you guys. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next week. And Bailey may or may not be in that episode too. Bye, my lovelies. Mwah.